So we took this controller apart and we hooked external wires, 2 wires, up to the winch controller box. And now I'm hooking this back together. I originally was thinking about not using the box and just using the solenoid pack or the contactor pack. Came to my own senses and said, nah, let's use the box, put it on top of the winch where it belongs, not worry about it. So that has to go out that way. This has to spin around and go out that way as well. I'll put these 4 screws back together. I wanted to look inside and figure things out before I started videoing and talking to you folks about what I was doing. I wanted to make sure that it was going to work. As you know, this winch didn't come with a remote, so I want to make sure that this one had a remote. So we put it together one time instead of like the other 2 winches where we're going to have to do more than once. But now we have this nice long extra wire, which will hook to the remote and have that all set up. So now we just got to mount this to the top there, which I'm going to mount it, I think, backwards if I can from factory, because I don't want the open side to be facing upwards and just filled with rainwater. So I'll set you guys up so hopefully you can see what's going on. I'll mount the box this way. That is going to be a negative, so I gotta put it this way, which I'm not a big fan of. I don't think this box is going to seal very well, so hopefully we won't have problems, but I guess we'll find out. The contactor switches for these are not very expensive, so if something... Oh, there goes my flashlight. So much for having light. Maybe I'll just fill the back with silicone when we're done. Alright, yellow to yellow. Red then goes to red, which I probably can put down over here and go there. That. Then I'll be able to zip tie all those like that, I guess. Real nice. Out here with the overtime tools. Alright. Little cappies on. Whose idea was this? This was a terrible idea. And a nut. Look at that, I didn't even drop it. That's a first. Alright, now that all those are connected, hook them to power and ground, we should have a working winch. Now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna run the wires up there nicely so it doesn't look like a toddler did it. Right now we're just gonna hook it up to power and gonna make sure it works. First step, right? And then once it works, and I guess I'll go take a drive up to the trailer and get the winch rope, and we'll put the winch rope on it, so that way we can say it's done and usable. You're telling me that won't fit? Well, that's stupid. Whoa! I guess it's grounded. Don't do that. That's pretty dumb. Don't touch negative wires to positive terminals. Bad idea. I'm sure enough that this is highly unrecommended. Anytime you decide to try to drill something like this, you should probably put it in a vise so it doesn't try to kill you. But I'm not taking it back off the truck to go drill it. So this is where we're at. See the problem? This drill doesn't care about your hand there. I guess I guess I could go get a pair of vice grips or something. That might help. I guess I'm gonna have to try to get a pair of vice grips. And remember, you can't clamp it too much, because if you clamp it too much, it's gonna bend the terminal. And you're not gonna be able to do anything. So I had to get that a little bit more. Vice grips don't care. All right, back to see if we can make sparks. You guys see me making bad ideas? Yeah, it looks like it. All right. Yeah, look at that, it fits now. Make sure it's nice and snug. It doesn't feel good on my ribs. Whose idea was this? This was terrible. Terrible ideas. Okay. Now, out of here without hurting myself. Let's go grab the remote, plug it in, and see if it works. Should work. Harbor Freight boasting 12 feet of cord away from the truck for safety. You know what I forgot? I forgot that wire. That wire here has to go on the ground for it to work. Alright, so I gotta hook that ground wire up, which is not fun. I want you to run this over that way. That sounds. Yeah, that's not gonna work. It doesn't like that. Oh, miserable, miserable. Does whatever miserable does. Oh, I don't want to take that back off. Well, I guess I have to. Stupid, 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 stupid. You know what's worse than anything else is doing the same job twice. I hate it. I hate doing the same job twice. Well, you saw me do it once, so I'm just gonna do it. See you guys afterwards. It works. I guess I'm gonna go run up to the trailer. I'm gonna put a 3/8 winch line on this one because I had a 7/16 on the other one. That's only a 9,500 pound winch, so we're not worried about strength. Like the top one's a 13,000 pound winch, so then we'll fire something up and drag something and tighten down the new winch line, and that'll be done. So I guess I gotta go run up to about 3 miles up the road and go get the winch line out of the trailer, so I guess we'll see you then. Go do that. Made it to the trailer. And I've got all the JM rigging you can possibly buy. That's what we came for. 3/8 JM rigging line. I also have some extras, so anytime you see me on the trail and you want to buy some JM rigging, come back to my trailer at night and I will gladly sell you rigging. Sometimes your winch line comes with these little crimp ends on them that are flat for the worn winches and stuff like that takes a bolt to go through. You're going to cut that off. This one has the style where you put the line through. You're going to cut that off. I normally take a couple wraps of electrical tape and wind it really nice and tight. I don't want to put too much on, but like, you know, a decent 2 wrapper. So then you got that, which will be really easy to put in there. And you gotta put the set screw in right in there, and you'll be good to go. Don't mind me, just on the struggle bus. I'm gonna make it so that you're in free spool, so you can turn this around if you need to, which I can't do from my position currently. Make sure it's winding in on this took the set screw all the way out just so I can make sure that it gets past the hole there. And this is where this can get a little tricky because you have to get that in the hole and through. If you put too much electrical tape on there, it's not going to want to go through. And I like to see it come out the other side just slightly. So we're not in far enough yet. We might have to take a layer of the tape off that I pushed on there. Put a little too much. Take that about that much off. Goes almost through. A little more yet. Alright, I can see the tuft coming out the other side, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to try to get it just a little bit more if I can. That's enough. I see it coming out the other side. I'm going to grab our set screw. Yeah, put the set screw in nice and tight. Like so. Put it as much as I can with that way, and I like to go at least a half, if not one full turn more. Should never have to pull against it, but that's pretty good. You don't want to over tighten it. Should be enough that you can't pull it out of there by hand. Now, the red cover, you can either push it all the way up, or I don't mind the little extra showing, so I'm going to leave it down there like that, and I'm going to pull it in until that red cover's gone. Oh, first I got to take it out of free spool. I also make sure that it is over as far as I can. Once I get the cover going, I hold it. Okay. Now, once the red cover is on the winch, that's when I do the next step. I try to keep this as tight as I can and everything on the bottom of the drum. So now the next step is never spool a winch in for the first time not hooked to something. I'm gonna grab some rigging here. It's a nice 7/16 soft shackle. Now I'll pull it out straight behind the truck. I got this nice red label full of water. It's a real heavy tire. Should weigh about 300 pounds. So that's what we're gonna pull to wind this up for the first time. Pull our protective sleeve down to the end of the winch here. Pushing that tire all the way over here. We're just gonna put it through the center, around here like so. Put the soft shackle through that. And do that. And then we're gonna roll it till the line gets tight and just set it down. Then we're gonna come back over here. And I think I'm gonna add, just because we're pulling low, add a little snatch block action right here. And that'll just keep it off the back of the truck. Just gonna be able to do it what it needs to do. It might not have wound up perfectly, and that's okay. But it wound up the way it's going to wind up every time from now on. So I'm absolutely ecstatic with that. That's the whole point of the hoop, was to help it guide it on the winch, and that's why we set the winch back so far away from the hoop, is because then it's not pulling on the center and immediately going into the drum, which is then it would only spool up in the middle. Just like the shiv on the boom head, because it turns a little bit, even though the shiv head can turn at angles and whatnot, it still wraps up top really well. So that worked out exactly how I wanted it to, and it's not hitting anything, it's not rubbing anything. So even if it has a little bit more in the middle than on the outsides, but that's the way that winch is gonna want to work, I'm not mad at that at all. That's exactly how I wanted it to work. So we got our tire sucked in, we have a project done. We'll expand it a little bit more by putting that remote on all 3 winches. That'll be another time. This weekend I gotta finish cleaning up the truck and getting it ready because it's got to go to AOP. Hans and I are doing a little trip out there to see what they have to offer us for X-Rock. So we're doing that. The truck's got to go tote us around, so I got to get the truck ready to go, and that's it. So I appreciate it 110%. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.